What's going on, guys? MajorLeaugeShooter here. This video is kind of unique. I want to share a little story to you guys about something that happened recently. As you guys may or may not know, I recently moved to the state of Arizona, and I moved from the state of California over here for good reasons. You know, there's a lot of reasons why I did that, but basically I want to share to you a little story that happened recently. And basically what happened, 3 days after I moved here to the state of Arizona, I got pulled over after not being pulled over in over 10 years and got a speeding ticket. I know it was weird, but on top of not getting pulled over in 10 years, this is the first time I've ever gotten pulled over with a firearm. As everybody knows, you know, I do concealed carry. I concealed carry in California, and I continue to conceal carry here in the state of Arizona. But the funny thing about it is, I got pulled over, and I've been pulled over before, nothing too big deal about it, but I'm gonna be honest, I was a little nervous because this time I was, you know, I had a firearm on me. I've never been pulled over with a firearm or anything like that. So when the officer came to my window and he told me the reason why he pulled me over, you know, common routine is to inform the law enforcement officer that you are legally carrying a firearm, which I was about to until he started talking out of nowhere. And eventually it led to, you know, him asking me if there was a firearm, which I told him yes, I did. So as soon as he told me, as soon as I told him that I had a firearm, he told me to step out the vehicle. And I mean, of course, this is, you know, as prior law enforcement, I already knew the situation, the scenario, and what proper things to do and all this other good stuff. But this is the first time it ever happened to me from the other side of the spectrum. So, of course, you know, I had my seatbelt on, so I raised my hands and told him that I was going to reach into that general area and unbuckle my seatbelt, which I did, and commenced to walk out, or to get outside of the vehicle. I turned around, and I already knew why he wanted me to step out, just so he can check and make sure that my firearm is clear. So I put my hands on the car. He's like, "Where's your firearm?" And I said, "On my waist." And he's like, "May I grab it really fast just to make sure it's for officer safety?" And I said, "Of course," right? So he commenced to, you know, after I told him where it was, he pulled out my firearm, cleared it really quick. He's like, "I'm just gonna keep this over here by my vehicle until the scene is clear, and then I'll give it back to you." I was like, "Okay, that's fine, officer," right? So you know, time was going on. We talked a little bit about the situation, so on and so forth, and he wrote me a ticket. Okay, go figure. I was wrong. I admit that. There's no disputing it or anything like that. So he gave me my firearm. He went, like, I didn't see where he came, but he came to the passenger side, opened my door, and put my firearm in the passenger side little cavity where you put drinks and papers and stuff like that, right? On the side of a Silverado, because I was driving my Silverado that day. And then he went around the truck from the back side again and went to my side and gave me the ticket, and then he called it a day and, you know, took off. Well, as soon as he left, of course, I got in my vehicle, went to the passenger side door, and got my pistol. But little did I know, until I was about to put it in, you know, onto my waist again, my magazine had been gone. And I'm like wondering, I'm like, what the heck? Where is my magazine? Well, come to find out, the officer did not give me back my magazine. He stole my magazine, and now I'm carrying a gun with no ammunition, which is kind of defeats the purpose. I'm not going to chuck my, you know, my Glock 19 at somebody if, you know, somebody tried to rob my car. But so I call the police department and I tell them, you know, hey, the officer that pulled me over, I just got a ticket, you know, stole my magazine. Is there any way we can meet up with him so I can get that, you know, magazine? They said, of course. So they got my phone number. The officer ended up calling me back about 15-20 minutes later and told me that he apologizes, but that my magazine was on the driver's side cavity door. And I didn't realize, he must have been really slick, because I didn't even see him do that. So the reason I wanted to share this with you is simply because officers are out there to do their job. You know, a part of their job is being safe. Officer safety is what they call it, right? And a person with a firearm, you don't know, you can't necessarily differentiate every single time who is good and who is bad. So for officer safety, they're not necessarily disarming you, just for that situation, and then they're going to give you your firearm back. As long as you're compliant and you do everything that's right, and of course you're legally carrying. So the officer did give me my stuff back. I didn't realize it, and I fell victim to my own ignorance, like some people do. I was mad at the cop and stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, this freaking dumb cop, this and that, right? He stole my magazine, but he didn't really steal my magazine. He just put it on the side of my door. So like I said, I wanted to share this with you so that you guys can learn from my mistake of quickly jumping the gun and start judging people, especially law enforcement, because law enforcement has a job to do. They're not racist for the most part, you know, maybe a few bad seeds here and there. They're not bad for the most part, maybe a few bad seeds here and there. But the vast majority of law enforcement out there are good people wanting to do good in the community. I broke the law by speeding, and I got pulled over and I got a ticket. You know, I gotta be a bigger man about it and accept the fact that I got a ticket and, you know, pay my damages and, you know, call it a day, move on, right? And that's just a lesson that I wanted to teach you guys, to stop judging people based off of little things and just understand that there's a bigger picture behind it all. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe. If you guys have a similar situation, now I definitely want to hear it. Put it down in the comments below. And with that being said, God bless you and God bless America.